What's going on, Atlanta Magic fans? Welcome to the Six Man Show Postgame Live presented by Rock'em. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, welcome to the show. Magic loses to the Pacers 111-97. I didn't even bother fixing the bottom line tonight. I don't even care. I just ignore the screen at the bottom. I just don't even care. This is easily, for me, the most disappointing loss of the season. Not the worst loss of the season. You've had worse losses. You've lost to some really bad teams in really bad circumstances. This one is the most disappointing because, there's a lot of reasons. But I think it was most disappointing because we saw in the first quarter, in the first part of the second quarter, how this team should play against the Pacers. And for whatever reason, we just completely went away from it. Very, very frustrating, confusing, and disappointing game tonight. Magic failed to score 100 points again. Part of that is we just can't shoot. We're back to our old ways of being incapable of shooting the basketball. And part of it is we also just abandoned everything that was working offensively. Just a mess of a game. Welcome to Six Man Show Postgame Live presented by Rock'em. I'm producer Kevin. Glad you're hanging out here tonight. Feeling very dejected about this weekend of Magic basketball. What was labeled coming into this as the biggest weekend of Magic regular season games in a long time. And the Magic laid an absolute egg twice. Very disappointing. It also leads me, probably leads a lot of you to be second guessing who this team actually is. You come into this weekend, you're flying high. Yeah, you'd played some really poor teams, but you also got some big wins over the course of the season, and you're thinking this is where we can get the momentum back. And we still can. There's still 17, 18 games left, whatever it is. Lots of time. Sky is not totally falling. However, this weekend was an absolute reality check for this team. Is this team tired? Maybe. Do they get a couple days off here? Yes, that's great. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, this is a very young team, and they showed their youth this weekend. Friday night, you just get absolutely outworked, out hustled, out coached, out manned, out everything. And then tonight, I felt like you showed your youth in a different way tonight. Felt like we completely lost our poise, lost our composure, lost our sense of self. Tonight was a mental loss, I felt like. Whereas Friday, I think we just got blitzed. We were beat Friday. Tonight felt like a mental defeat. But it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for not just the team and the coaching staff, but I think for us fans too. So, okay. Anyway, like I was saying, welcome to the show. We're the Six Man Show. We're an Orlando Magic podcast. We put out shows every Monday and Thursday. And we're right here on YouTube after every single Orlando Magic game, here for the Six Man Show Postgame Live, which is brought to you by Rock'em. Rock'em is the world's largest sock store. We love Rock'em. No matter if the Magic are good or bad, Rock'em is great because they're a Central Florida company. Their headquarters is right down the road from Kia Center. They make socks and underwear, some really cool products that feature some of your favorite teams, not just the Orlando Magic and other NBA teams, but also NFL, NHL, and college teams as well. They also do non-sports things. If you have people in your life that are not sports fans, maybe they like Harry Potter or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Disney or whatever, Marvel. They've got all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're looking for gifts for them, definitely check them out. And when you shop at Rock'em.com, we just always ask that you use that code MAGIC20. Why? Because it gets you 20% off of your order at Rock'em.com. So definitely check them out. Big shout out to Rock'em for supporting the show, for supporting the Six Man Show, and use that code MAGIC20 to get you 20% off. All right, we got a couple super chats here. Ty with the very generous super chat says, I want to be positive, but we let TJ McConnell and Obi freaking Toppin beat us. We had some sleepy defense and confused offense. We pass up fast break points to shoot, and coach adjustments make them. What you said there's a couple things in there that I think is it right there. First off, sleepy defense, bad. Letting McConnell beat you, bad. All of those things are bad. The the amount of ill-advised shots tonight by the Magic. Lazy walking into threes was repulsive, especially when you actually moved the basketball, when you moved yourself on offense, when you got moving, it more often than not turned into points, or at least better chances than walking into lazy threes. And we did it over and over and over and over and over again. And here we are. I don't know what game this is. Game 64 or something like that. 65. I don't know what it is. We're far enough into the season where these guys should know this is not our identity. Not just because we're better at other things, but because we suck at that. We're terrible. We are not a three-point shooting team. So why are we forcing this stuff? Especially against a team like Indiana, who's not good defensively. Yes, they're a better team than they were at the beginning of the season, defensively. But if you move the basketball, you move without the ball, you're going to get opportunities. And we saw that. We saw that tonight. And we got away from it time and time again. I don't understand it. That's what's so frustrating to me. We're good enough to beat this team. And we got embarrassed. Shahin says the only bright side was Washington beating Miami. The only silver lining right now is that, and the fact that the other games that impact the Magic are all interesting. Actually, they're all tied. Knicks, Sixers, tied. Cavs, Nets, tied. And as you mentioned, the Wizards beat the Heat, which is amazing. But this is also, as good as this is, because Friday, basically the same thing happened. There was only one game that went against the Magic Friday. Right now, the Heat game goes in the Magic's favor, and then obviously these two games are in late in the third quarter, and so we'll see how those go. But Friday, obviously we already talked about this, got blown out. It ended up being okay for the Magic because all these teams lost and it was whatever. Tonight, it may be the same thing. Who knows? Obviously, we don't know how this is going to go. So on the one side, you can say, oh, the Magic dodged a bullet. Magic dodged a bullet. They have these two duds over the course of the weekend, and we dodged a bullet. We didn't lose ground or anything. Or you can look at the other side and go, wow, the Magic missed a huge opportunity to gain ground on these teams. It's rough. But yes, you're right, Shahin. That is, we should be really grateful to the Wizards tonight. Sheesh. All right, chat. Let's take a look at what you got here. Man, I'm just super bummed tonight, guys. You can probably tell that was so disappointing. Rough. Rom says, good thing the Heat lost to the Wizards, and oh boy, we miss Suggs. Do we ever? Do we ever? If there was any question about what Jalen Suggs means to this team, just look at this weekend. Any Jalen Suggs haters out there, if there are any of you left, just look at this weekend. I don't want to hear another word out of your mouth about it. Not a word. Friday, do we win Friday with Jalen? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not that crazy. Do we win tonight with Jalen? You could convince me of that. Heart and soul of this team. And you miss him on both ends now, not just defensively, but also offensively. I'm Joby says, absolutely zero effort on defense in the second half and no execution on offense. Just terrible to watch. An awful game to watch, by the way. The officiating. Holy. The first quarter, they let everything go. So physical, they let everything go. Second quarter on, they didn't let anything go. Called every foul, and they also called every time someone so much as opened their mouth at an official, they called text too. Just a weird game from the officials. Isaac with the super chat says, these games are rare for Paolo, but Fran's efficiency this season is embarrassing. Man, you're not wrong. Franz wasn't good tonight. Obviously, he wasn't good the other night. I thought this was one of Paolo's worst games of his career. I know statistically, we'll look at the box score, it may not look like that, but I thought his decision-making tonight was genuinely awful. When I was talking about walking into those threes, how many of those were Paolo tonight? How many lazy threes did Paolo take tonight? It's just not acceptable. It's just not. He says, I'm Jovi says, this is the rest of yours. Our inability to make timely shots, especially open threes, has killed us all year. And I'm Jovi says, where is Franz? Yeah. We had a ton of open looks. Isaac with another super chat. Thank you so much. He says, Jamal Mosley needs to make adjustments faster. I totally agree. I am a Jamal Mosley stan. Probably will be till I die. Tonight, he blew it. That third quarter run where the Pacers just were able to do whatever they wanted and the Magic had no answers. And we left Cole Anthony out there to get burned. by TJ McConnell over and over again. It made no sense. I did not understand that at all. Add him to the list of guys that messed up tonight for the Magic. Ty says, utter BS. I'm so disappointed. Me too, man. Me too. Brian says, that was horrible. Yep. Jory B says, Jalen Suggs is officially, that's what I just said. Officially the heart and soul of this team. He brings effort and energy this team desperately needs. Also, coach got to step up as well. 100% agree. 100% agree. Matthew says, I'm so sick of Harris. Please don't resign him. Yes and no. I understand, and I don't necessarily disagree. However, Gary Harris was put into a totally unfavorable position for him tonight as the lone starting guard, basically, for the Magic. Basically, in a lot of situations tonight, having to be the one guard, the lead guard, which he isn't. Gary Harris is not that. I don't understand that move from the coaching staff. I don't understand why Anthony Black doesn't start there. It makes no sense to me. Start Anthony Black with Gary Harris. I love Caleb Houston, but rolling him out there was... I don't know if they thought they'd be able to generate a lot more open looks for Caleb Houston tonight, but there were none. None. Backfired big time. David S. says, how in the world do you have 0 fast break points against one of the worst defensive teams in the league? Bingo. Terrible. Terrible. Icarus says, embarrassing offense. See what happens when we play teams that aren't the garbage of the league. Any team even steps up one notch on defense and we crumble. First off, embarrassing offense, 100% agree. No, I mean, you just heard me. No issues there. See what happens when we play teams that aren't garbage of the league. This Magic team has some great wins this season, guys. Let's not forget, okay? Right now, the Magic this weekend, the worst weekend of the season, maybe outside of the Boston weekend. But, I mean, you're so overmatched against Boston. I would say this is the worst weekend of the season. Because, this is just it was a huge weekend. Opponents, I believe, on paper you can beat. Maybe not both, but maybe you go 1-on-1. But let's not forget that this team is still capable of winning games, okay? While this stretch lately against bad teams has kind of, adjusted how we think about things, but I don't know. This weekend, though, you're 100% right. We totally crumbled. Totally crumbled. Oh, okay. Seth Berry said, could not even drop 100 on one of the worst defensive teams in the league, in the NBA. Just sad. Yep, very sad. Ascension says, couldn't even watch this game. What were they doing? SMH was bad. Seth said, Isaac needs more minutes. I don't even know what J.I. ended up with tonight. He ended up with 19. Eesh. Yeah, I would love to see more from him. Daniel says, what is going on with this team? I don't know. Maybe this team is just exhausted from the week. I don't know. This is probably part of it, though. Robert says missing Sugg. Yep. Ascension says, how did you let TJ McConnell... Why did I say that again? TJ McConnell score all his points in the paint like that? I have absolutely no idea. Embarrassing. Steven says, rough way to end the week for sure. Hino Hoop says, Franz isn't as good as we want him to be, and we got to accept that. Franz isn't as consistent as we want him to be right now, is how I'd respond to that. Because there are still nights where Franz goes for 30. He has had fewer, I should say, strong, efficient scoring games this season. No doubt about it. But he's still good. He's just not been consistent this season. That has really, really hurt the Magic. Joe says, give it up for team garbage. BW said, this is not playoff caliber basketball. No. That's the Magic look like a team that might be qualified for the play-in, maybe. Not good. Robert says, no song tonight. Yeah. Dizzy says, yeah, our 90s approach is kind of cool, but this is the modern NBA. We need shooters. Just look at what Evan Nesmith did to us. Man, what would us Magic fans do to have an Aaron Nesmith on our team? Come on now. Steven says, this L hurt more than the Knicks. I tend to agree with you. Kind of like I mentioned in the open, where Friday I felt like we just got, totally outmatched in every facet. We never had a chance Friday night. Tonight, we absolutely had a chance. And we got off to a 15-point lead. Playing great Magic basketball. Not perfect, but good Magic basketball. And then mentally, we just collapsed. I mean, woof. Dari says we need Suggs badly. We really do. Turquoise says, how bad was it? I missed the game. It was awful. It was really bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. Embarrassing. Matthew says, front office to-do list is finding some more offense. Absolutely. Joe says, their star isn't a star. I'm not convinced. Are you talking about Halliburton? Holy smokes. Now that's a take. If that's who you're talking about, Tyrese Halliburton is 100% a star. He's incredible. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but he also says Franz is weak AF and they can't shoot. Yeah, Franz was definitely weak tonight. Ascension says up 15 and just took the foot off the gas pedal, SMH. I wonder if there's anything to the fact that we just destroyed the Pacers in the first two games we played them. And they thought we got 15. We're like, oh, here we go again. Coasting to a W. I don't know if there's anything to that, but you never know. Michael Lynch says, boo. Bad night shooting again. That third lost us the game. Needs Suggs back. Go Magic. Hit the like button. Yeah, that third quarter was one of the worst of the season. No doubt. Everett says we need to adjust our rotations accordingly based on game flow. I swear Mosley needs to adjust to the game better at times. Again, I love Jamal Mosley. I think he sometimes gets a bad rap among Magic fans, but tonight I would agree with you. I thought he really, really blew it. Daniel says both straight losses against teams we were formerly 3-0, so definitely this team have been overconfident after 4th seed. It's possible. Ross says it's been a tough weekend. We've been totally outplayed in both. Yeah. Do you believe in, says, tighten it up, boys. We're going to play ourselves right out of the top 6 and risk not getting it back. It feels like it after this weekend. The good thing is, guys, we've earned this stretch that's coming up. You get Brooklyn, Toronto this week. This team better go 3-0. Or this fan base is going to lose it. This fan base is going to lose it. Oh, my goodness. Chris says, these last 2 games have given Suggs a huge bargaining chip come next contract negotiation. Can't argue with that. MK says, blaming Franz when he actually tied on both ends and Paolo is sleepwalking. Paolo sleepwalking is hilarious. I think both Paolo and Franz deserve blame tonight. I think Paolo deserves more blame tonight. But yes, both guys. I mean, your leaders, they can't show up like that in a game like this. You can't. You just can't. Both of them are horrible. I thought Paolo was again, I think that was one of Paolo's worst games. Means it with 19 points, but horrible decision making. Just Hollywood 407 says, everyone needs to stop overreacting. We just got to tighten back up. We are just in our own way. We lost this game. Indy didn't win. We had it on to Brooklyn. It's the silver lining here. We talked about it many times on the show. You know, we are coming up on almost 70 of these post-game shows this season, which, by the way, is insane to think about. We've done this almost 70 times. I say that to say, it's a good reminder. There are 82 games in a season for a reason. There's always another one. Always another one really soon. And the good thing is this team gets a couple extra days off here. And it's at home now. So no more traveling. Rest up. Hopefully we get Jalen back on Wednesday, and then we'll go from there. N8 says, Franz 3-point shot is so bad. He has regressed. Yikes, yeah. Didalis says, scoring the banner is wrong. Yeah, if you missed the open, I openly said I just don't care. I'm not changing anything down there. I just don't care. I don't want to. I don't care anymore. I just don't. Not tonight. Thanks, Praises says, leaving the stadium now. Tough loss, but fantastic energy in the building. That's good. If you felt it in the fourth quarter, that fan base was trying to manufacture some momentum, even though we were down, like, after a couple of those, like, moments early in the fourth, mid-fourth, even, like, towards the second half of the fourth, and this team got it down to, like, 10 or 9. The fan base, like, really got into it. But, man, team did not reciprocate. I will say this. This, as bad as the Magic played tonight, they got really close. And I don't mean on the scoreboard, right? They never got within closer than 9, I think. down the stretch. However, there was that stretch where Magic got some momentum. 10-point lead. Joe Ingles throws the lob to Jonathan Isaac. Just a little too high, off J.I.'s fingertips. It would have made it an 8-point game. Instead, Pacers come right back around, score, 16-point game. You were literally a Jonathan Isaac fingertip away from being an 8-point game, and you have all the momentum in the world and plenty of time to come back. Unfortunately, just did not happen. I love Paolo Banchero says Franz and Cole Anthony and Banchero lazy threes. 100%. 100%. That's, of all the things tonight, that is what bothered me the most. That is what bothered me the most. It's one thing if it's an open three in the flow of the offense. Take an open three in the flow of the offense and you miss it, fine. Can't complain. That's basketball. But Cole Anthony and Paolo, and a couple times Franz, maybe one time Franz, just completely ignoring every sense of basketball, offensive like flow and identity, and just hoisting up lazy threes. They were taking threes that you would expect in the fourth quarter with a team that's down 20, and you're just throwing up prayers in the hopes that you can make some sort of miraculous comeback. But they were doing that in the second, third, and early fourth quarter when you don't need to be doing that. I just have a hard time with it. I really do. It's so lame of me to sit here and do this. I hate it when I get like this because I am the most unathletic person you'll ever meet. I don't play organized basketball, and I certainly don't play professional basketball. So for me to sit here and say these things, I feel like an idiot. However, I feel like I know just enough about basketball to know that that is not smart. And why do I know that? And these guys are doing it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Help me understand it. Come on. Do you believe in says, how'd you like the 1-2 punch of a missed dunk fall? Oh, this is what I was talking about. Missed dunk followed by a Naismith 3. Oh, the agony. That was the moment right there. That I was just talking about. J.I. fingertip away from a sick alley-oop, 8-point game. Kia rocking. Timeout, Indiana. And instead, Aaron Naismith 3. Tragic. David Erickson says, not sure why defense was optional tonight. Maybe because of the Knicks hangover? Very possible. Chris says, bad 3-point shots led to long rebounds, led to easy runouts for Indiana, which is what they love. Ty says, I think our laziness on offense is attributed to laziness on offense is attributed to no offensive identity. It could be part of it. Oh yeah, Dizzy, this is exactly what I was just talking about. It says we had them on their necks after the timeout. Kia center with the Let's Go Magic, then J.I. misses the alley from Joe, and Naismith makes a 3 at the other end. This was when we finally lost it. Yep, felt that way. Certainly felt that way. We have another super chat here. It's from Isaac Ford again. He says, huge if the Sixers can pack up the Knicks tonight. Absolutely. And then also says, my dog Cole fell off when he cut his hair. Well, yes and no. Cole was not great before that. Remember, he started the season really well and then fell apart and then cut his hair. And it has not been a good run since then. Credit to Cole. He started with, first off, thank you for the super chat. Credit to Cole. He started with a personal 7-0 run to start the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh, Cole's cooking. We're getting back in it. And that just did not happen. It did not happen. Oh, man, what a disappointment, man. Rough. Janine says, just leaving the game, very disappointed, but at least the Heat lost, and I found Benji and Luis Rosario with the Six Fan Show, so all is not lost. Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, we will have an episode of the Six Fan Show later tonight. Our guy Ben's outside of Kia, probably wrapping that up here pretty soon, if not already. We were really hoping this would be a much more enjoyable game for Magic fans to get to react to, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of takes that Benji's able to capture outside of Kia Center tonight. Because, I feel like a lot of Magic fans probably feel like I do, where this was just super disappointing. Very disappointing. Thanks, praises. As Cole was cooking tonight, his game is back on the rise and it's beautiful to see. Ew. I don't know about that, thanks, praises. He was cooking at the beginning of that fourth quarter, and that's about it. That is about it. All right, I'm going to skip down a little bit here, guys, because I want to... Wait, we're already at 27 minutes? Oh, my gosh. Oh, this really has been a venting session, hasn't this? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Andrew says, J.I. played well. Other than that, struggling to find many positives. You're not wrong about that. Steven says, Caleb, 1 3-point attempt in 22 minutes, basically out there doing cardio. Again, if you missed the top of the show, I mean, this idea of starting Gary Harris and Caleb Houston totally backfired. I don't know if they thought that they'd be able to generate more open looks for Caleb tonight because of Indy's defense or whatever, but it just didn't happen. Did not. He had 2 shots, and he had 1 good corner 3 that was wide open. The other shot was not open. So he had 1 wide open 3 all night long. 1 in 22 minutes. That tells you how messed up the Magic offense was tonight. Woof. Bilal says, crowd was so ready to get behind the team for a fourth quarter comeback, but the team let us down. That is 100% accurate. That's what I was talking about, man. 100%. That crowd was ready. They were pushing them. They were trying. Come on. Couldn't do it. Shaw says, I was excited for the playoffs. Now I'm terrified. I don't blame you. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Man, I'm just so bummed. Do you believe it says? Theme of the game. This ain't working. Let's do it again. That's exactly it, man. That's such a good way of putting that. Oh, man. Gabe says, you're helping me through this drive from Jacksonville. Bad loss, man. Just terrible. Hey, Gabe. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear this is helping you, man. Thanks for tuning into the show. Ty says, Cole Anthony press conference makes you feel better, echoing a lot of what we were saying on here. I'm obviously not watching that because we're in here, but feel free to let me know in the chat, just kind of summary of what he's saying because I'm curious. Cole Anthony press conferences are always entertaining, but after a loss like this, they can also be very vulnerable and honest and revealing, which I always appreciate about Cole. Do you believe in has been wanting positive national attention? Now we wish no one was watching. That's pretty funny and sad and true. Okay. Man, rough. Okay. I guess let's just take a look at the box score. I don't know, guys. Like it's so ugly. Like it's really bad. Franz, 13 points on 5 of 14 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. Even missed 2 free throws tonight for 3 of 5 with 4 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and only 1 turnover. Bad night for Franz. In our group chat, Jonathan, Luke, and myself, I don't remember who it was, Jonathan or Luke, said, there's no way Franz has another bad game tonight. And my response to him this afternoon was, I don't think anybody can have a bad offensive game tonight against the Pacers. I don't think it's possible. And wow, could I not have been more wrong? Paolo, 19 points, 6 of 20 from the field, and 1 of 8 from 3. Paolo, 6 of 20 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3. There is no circumstance under the sun. Let me back up. I love Paolo. I'm so grateful for Paolo. Genuinely, so grateful. So great. He is the future of the league. He's the future of the Magic. I hope he plays his entire career in Orlando. I love the guy. Love him to death. He should not be shooting eight threes a night. Should never, ever happen. Ever. Unless he has some sort of change over the course of his career where he becomes a better three-point shooter. He should never, ever take 8 threes. Ever. Now, if he's feeling it, if he's knocked down a couple, he's 2 of 3, and he wants to keep shooting, and he ends up 4 of 7, even 3 of 8, 5 of 8, 4 of 8, I mean, fine. If he's feeling it and he ends up with 8, whatever. But on a night where he just doesn't have it, for him to keep chucking, and again, it's one thing if they are within the flow of the offense, it's another for them to be lazy walk-in threes. It was awful. Horrible decision-making. And I just don't understand it. Also missed a couple free throws, 5 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 3 turnovers for Paolo. Wendell, I thought, was one of probably 2 or 3 bright spots tonight. I know offensively wasn't great. 5 of 13 from the field for 13 points. And 0 of 5 from 3 is terrible. 3 of 3 from the free throw line, but 15 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, as well as a block. I thought Wendell outside of missing the threes, I thought Wendell did everything right tonight. Everything that was asked of him in his position, I thought he did. I thought he was terrific. He was physical, got the Magic extra possessions, 6 offensive rebounds. I thought he was great. Obviously missed the threes. That sucks. Take away the threes, he's 5 of 8 from, 2. I don't know. I thought Wendell was great. Gary, again, I don't want to blame too much on Gary tonight. I thought he was put in a really uncomfortable position by the coaching staff, making him basically the lead guard for portions of this game. And that's not Gary Harris. He ends up with 5 points, 2 of 3 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3. Caleb Houston, we already mentioned him, only got 2 shots and did not score. A mess of a game. And again, I don't necessarily blame Caleb for that. Like, the offense has, if you have a guy like Caleb Houston, or any guy that's just a shooter, just a pure shooter, like, there has to be sets ran that lead to him being open, and literally never happened all night. There was never even an effort made to get Caleb Houston open tonight. So it was basically the Magic. It felt like in some stretches only had 4 guys on the floor. It's like no one's worrying about Caleb Houston because he's not getting open. Joe Ingles, I thought, was the other bright spot. 11 points for him, although he had a couple really stupid decisions. But I'll ignore that for 11 points, 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. Credit to him. Anthony Black only playing 11 minutes tonight is a crime against humanity. He better have some sort of light injury or something that restricted him, because 11 minutes when you have Tyrese Halliburton over there, I think is wrong. It's wrong. Makes no sense. Not even just Halliburton, but have him chase Nembhard around. Have him chase Nesmith around. Have him chase TJ McConnell around. Him playing 11 minutes is a joke when you already don't have Jalen and you don't have Markelle. I don't understand that at all. Cole, man, come on, bro. Has that awesome 7-0 run to start the fourth, and then outside of that, Cole was really bad. Cole was bad tonight. Don't understand it. It's disappointing. Ends up with 16 points, 4 of 14 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. He's good thing he got to the free throw line where he went 7 of 8. Ends up with 2 boards, 3 assists. Mo Wagner, would have loved a better game from him too. 9 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 6 boards. And then J.I., the other bright spot, 9 points, 7 boards, 2 blocks, 3 of 4 from 3. I mean, you love that. Love that from J.I., but only 19 minutes. Wish you could have played a little bit more. Points in the paint. Pacers win that. Fast break points. I'm about to puke. 27-0. What is that? What is that? 27-0 fast break points. That is a joke. That is awful. What an embarrassment. Magic have a 15-point lead in the second quarter, and the Pacers net with a 16-point lead, a 31-point swing over 2.5 quarters. Gross. Magic ended up with 47 bench points. Both teams with 12 turnovers, but the difference was the Pacers capitalized and the Magic did not. Shooting stats here. Pacers shot the ball 49% compared to the Magic 37%. Both teams didn't shoot the 3-ball very well, but the Magic were particularly horrible. 9 of 36 for 25% and 22 of 29 from the free throw line for 75%. Magic do get 13 offensive rebounds. That should be enough to beat the Pacers, man. That should be enough. Crazy. Hard to believe. All right. I love Paolo Banchero says, once Paolo sees he has missed threes, already time to start driving to the paint. That's what I'm saying. Some nights Paolo has it from 3, and that's great. But a night like tonight, give it up and go to the paint. Even if you're not scoring, they're gonna double you. Find an open guy. It's hard for me to understand as a non-baller, you know. Greedy says, don't you feel like Caleb can only score when he is set up? I don't think I've seen him shoot on the move. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You're 100% right. Ikaru says it wasn't a 7-0 run. What? I'm talking about the start of the fourth quarter. That wasn't a solo Cole Anthony 7-0 run. I thought it was. I'm going to find it. I'm going to see what I'm talking about here. Cole Anthony. There's 2. There's 4. Okay, sorry. 7-2 run. Excuse me. 7-2 run. I forgot about TJ McConnell. Regardless, he scored 7 straight points for the Magic, and they were all great buckets. And Nate also says Cole's defense is an issue. In stretches, it definitely is. Oh, man. Do you believe in says, okay, how do you get these guys amped up for their game when their faces will still be red for days? I don't know. Yeah, disappointing. I love Paolo says, the fact we didn't lose by 30 considering the difference in fast break points. I know. It's crazy. Crazy. Dizzy, I noticed this a couple times too. There's a balance here. He says, I noticed Dell and J.I. always have at least 2 wide open shooters around them after offensive rebounds and instead go up against 3 defenders and either turn it over or miss layups. I think more often than not, I think I would agree with you. But there are some times where I don't mind a guy going up strong, even with defenders around him, like especially for the Magic. Like if the Magic were a knockdown 3-point team, that's fine. I agree. Always kick it back out. But Wendell's a strong guy. J.I. is a tall guy with some good, wingspan and length and stuff. So for them to go up every once in a while, I don't mind it. But I think you're right. There were several opportunities tonight for them to kick it back out. You're 100% right. Okay. I don't know if there's a whole lot else I want to talk about this game. Let's look at the scores around the league. Oh, yes. Wow. Okay. The Magic look like they're going to catch a break here, guys. There's still time, but the Sixers currently lead the Knicks by 7 in a barn burner of a game. And then the freaking Brooklyn Nets up 17 with 3 minutes to go. Oh, I'm a huge Nets fan. Always love the Nets. Let's go. That's crazy. Other scores, Bucks do beat the Clippers. We're going to talk about the Bucks in a second. And the Wizards beat the Heat, which you love to see. You love to see. Okay, standings. I'll refresh this. Obviously, this is all about to change here in the next 5-10 minutes. But the Magic now 1 game back of the Knicks, who are currently playing. If that score holds, they will go back to being a half game back of the Knicks. However, if that score holds, that means they'll only be a half game up of the Sixers. So that's unfortunate. Now you are also 1 game back of the Pacers. 1 game ahead of the Pacers now. So the Pacers now climbing back into it. And you still have a 1.5 game lead over the Miami Heat. For what it's worth. Man, you could have gained a whole game on the Heat tonight, man. What a disappointment. Okay. As promised, let's look at our handy. Oh, no. I botched it. Where'd it go? Here it is. Let's look at our handy dandy spreadsheet. Here it is tonight. Those are the games we already talked about here. All these games currently going. The only game tomorrow that is of interest to the Magic is a spicy one. Cavs are going to lose to the Nets tonight, and they have to turn around and play the Phoenix Suns tomorrow. Would be a shame if the Suns played well in Cleveland tomorrow, wouldn't it? But then before the Magic play again, the Sixers and Knicks play again, and then the Pacers then have to go to OKC on Tuesday, and the Bucks play the Kings. Here's why I wanted to bring up the Bucks. The Bucks, when we came to this weekend, I said, we're just 3.5 games back of the Bucks. Just 3.5 games back. They've got a tough schedule, the 3rd toughest in the whole league, especially over this week. They're out west, got all these games, and what have the Bucks done? They've just gone out and beat the Clippers today, while you lost to the Pacers. I don't want to say that if we go back to this box or to the standings here, I don't want to say that we're totally out of reach of the Bucks, but this weekend feels like it might have done it. I don't know. We'll see. Magic now 5 game backs of the Bucks. 5 games back of the Bucks. The only silver lining to that is, as I mentioned before, the Magic play the Bucks not once but twice the last week of the season. So we'll see. All right, guys, we've gone way too long here for an ugly loss, but I just had to talk about it. I'm so frustrated. Hope this has been enjoyable for you. Things you need to know. Right now, Jonathan and Luke are recording the next episode of the Six Man Show. You're obviously going to want to tune into that tomorrow. Can't wait to hear those guys talk about this weekend. Man. Other thing you'll need to know, the Six Fan Show was recorded tonight. Some of you were on that outside of Kia Center. So check that out. They'll be up sometime later tonight, more than likely. And then, no Magic game until Wednesday now. So we got a couple days of rest for the guys. Let them get rested up. Hopefully Jalen Suggs comes back, as well as some other guys. Chat, thanks so much for hanging out with us, as always. If you're here, hit that like button on your way out. Always helps the show out a lot. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. A disappointing one. But we did it together, okay? Lots of basketball still to be played. The sky isn't falling. Not yet, but maybe soon. We'll see you Wednesday. Until then, let's go Magic.